Hello, welcome to Professional Marriage Counseling. And our theme of this course is making marriages better. Today, we are looking at introduction and the scope of this course. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. Uh, in today's module, which is module one, we are going to look at introduction to marriage counseling, where we are going to look at a definition and scope of marriage counseling. We are also going to look at types of marriages, and we are going to look at statistics of divorce, and we are going to look at marriage challenges. Definition of marriage. The definition of marriage varies according to the culture and religious or jurisdiction. So people have got different where they define marriage. And the definition of marriage reflects on how one is going to take marriage on and how one is going to view marriage. And it also talks about the complexity of marriage, knowing that marriage is dynamic and marriage cannot be taken in a nutshell. Marriage is a wide thing, and it is as big as the population of this world. Each person has got his own definition of marriage and the way they perceive and the way they think about marriage. So let's look at some of the definitions of marriage. So we are going to start with the definition of marriage in a traditional word. According to Oxford Dictionary, the term marriage is defined as the union of a man and a woman as husband and wife in a social, emotional, and economical partnership. And Webster Dictionary defines marriage as a legally recognized union of two people as partners in personal relationship. Whilst the legal dictionary, like Black's Law Dictionary, defines marriage as a voluntary union for life of a man and a woman to the exclusion of all others. So when we talk about definition of marriage in a legal way, it does not include other people. That is where we get the sentiment that marriage is between the two. And also, family law definition defines marriage as a legally recognized relationship between two individuals that confer certain rights, benefits, and obligations. So, when you look at these so far definitions of marriage, like in tradition, we are going to find the word union, and also in the Oxford Dictionary or Webster Dictionary, we are going to find also the term legally and union of two people. In legal definition by Black's Law Dictionary, there is a term voluntary, which means that it has to be a voluntary thing. Then in family law definition, it is also bringing in another word, which is recognized, legally recognized, which means that it has to be recognized by legally, and also it brings in some certain words like rights, benefits, and obligations. Contemporary definitions also defines marriage as a committed, loving relationship between two consenting adults, regardless of gender, sexual, and orientation. Now it brings in the term loving. You can see that these other dictionaries do not bring in the term love. So it's in this contemporary definition, that's where now we see the first time the word love appears. So meaning that marriage can exist without without love. Marriage can exist without some of these things that are being mentioned, or that we think marriage, they define marriage. And also in the same way, contemporary dictionary, contemporary definitions also define marriage as a partnership between two individuals built on mutual respect. So it also brings respect, trust, communication, and emotional intimacy. So we are going to see that these definitions, they have got certain ingredients that are so dynamic, that are different from one perspective to another. So this brings in the perspective of the theories of marriage. So when you talk about marriage, it's not just something that people think, or people will think marriage is love, marriage is a relationship between the two people. There is the sexual relationship, there is consentment, there is consent, there is mutual respect, there is trust, there is communication, there is emotional intimacy, there is voluntary union, there is exclusion of others, there is a recognition of by other people and by law. There is the rights, there are benefits, there are obligations, there is union, and there is economical and emotional, there is social partnership, and there is two people as partners, personal relationships. So it is very wide. When you talk about marriage definition, it is wider than what we look at just in a nutshell. Now, let's look at religious definition of marriage. When we talk about religious definition of marriage, we are talking about the what on the spirituality of marriage, or the definition that is given about marriages. Like we have got Christian religion. So Christians define marriage as a sacred union between one man and one woman ordained by God. Although this is debatable, as in a biblical perspective, that marriage is between one man and one woman, but that is the common definition of marriage, which is called the Orthodox Christian definition, which was agreed upon, that marriage should comprises of one man, one woman. There is a lot of debate that is going on right now concerning the changing the biblical definition of marriage, where people are debating that the Christian marriage is not a monogamy marriage. It's not a marriage whereby one woman should possess one man. It is the marriage which Christian marriage encourages also polygamy. Let's look at Islamic definition of marriage. In Islamic, they say marriage is a union between a man and a woman based on mutual consent, love, and respect. So there is consent, love, and respect. So in the Islamic perspective of marriage, which is a Quranic definition, they emphasize marriage on the basis of based on mutual consent, love, and respect of each other. Then we have Jewish culture, which is also define marriage as a sacred bond between a man and a woman, witnessed by God. That's Talmudic definition. Now let's look at cultural definitions. Marriage in a cultural perspective. How does the culture defines marriage? So in the African culture, marriage is defined as a union between two families, not just two individuals. So let us know that in African perspective, as an African, marriage is defined as as the union between two families. That's why we say our wives. We have got the family. My brother's wife. We call her my wife because marriage is between two families. So when one marries, it means that everyone has gotten married. Then the Asian perspective of marriage or cultural definition of Asian marriage is that a union that brings harmony and balance to the family and community. So marriage in the Asian perspective views marriage as a community thing, something that has to bring the balance. So if one gets married, he has to consider that he is the property of the community, and that marriage belongs to the community, and they have to fulfill the community obligation, and also it has to fulfill the family obligation. So when you look at all these definitions, we are going to find that marriage is just a wide thing. It's just something that cannot be comprehended. And in philosophical definitions, a union that fosters personal growth, self-discovery, and happiness. That is a extension definition. So there is the personal growth, self-discovery, and happiness. And also there is a commitment to love, care, and support. We have talked about this. Now, the definitions of marriage according to the philosophical, cultural, religious, contemporary, legal, traditional, and so on. These help us to understand. You as a marriage counselor, you begin to understand marriage in a wider perspective. The reason why we have got many challenges in marriage, because we look at marriage in one side, one perspective, one view, whereby you're saying, no, marriage is that a woman should respect the man. You are forgetting other definitions of marriage. And you are also forgetting other definition of marriage, where you are saying marriage is it's a sacred thing. It is something that one has to remain in marriage for forever. You are forgetting about the respect. You are forgetting about commitment. You are forgetting about consent, love, respect, and other things. So when we talk about marriage, it is a wider thing. So the definitions of marriage should bring to our attention that marriage is something that is wider, and we need to have a wider perspective. Even as we are teaching couples and we are counseling people, we have to know what they mean. Ask the husband, what do you understand? What is your definition about marriage? So he's going to give you. While you ask the wife, what is your definition about your marriage? It's going to give you. And from there, you'll be able to understand why they are having problems. So just the definition of marriage, it is going to give you why they are having problems. Now, definition of marriage counseling. Marriage counseling, also known as couple therapy. Now, listen, there is a term therapy. Therapy, it's a healing. It's a when we say marriage counseling is a therapeutical relationship between the counselor and the couple. So when we say therapeutical, we are talking about the healing relationship, the relationship that is going to bring what is called psychotherapy, that focuses on helping couples build and maintain health fulfilling relationship. When we talk about marriage counseling, we are talking about it involves working with a trained therapist to identify and resolve conflicts. So it's not just getting somebody who doesn't know about marriage. So when we talk about marriage counseling, we are talking about therapeutical, we are talking about conventional counseling, where there are theories and practices that one should have to counsel a couple, to help the couple identify and resolve conflicts, improve communication, and strengthen emotional intimacy. Now, let's look at cultural influence on marriage. We have to know that marriage is so much influenced by what is called culture. So culture has much influence on marriage, and understanding the cultural perspective of marriage, it will help many couples to remain in marriages and to remain strong in their relationships. So there is the expectation, there are expectations that culture gives. So most marriages are based on the expectations of culture. That's cultural norms, shapes, expectations, and marriage laws. That's where you say, this person is dressing as if she's not married, as if she's not married. The way she behaves, the way he behaves, as if he's not married, because there is a cultural expectation. There is a way your marriage, you as a married man or as a married woman, you are expected to behave. So that can bring conflicts in marriage. I've seen, like, I was talking to a certain couple where the husband wants to dictate the wife on what she should dress, because the wife is they have more than 20 years difference, but the husband wants the wife to behave to come to his age of 20 years, and that is what they're expecting. So if one wanted to get married to someone of where they can be able to have the same values, you're supposed to get the person of the same age. Now, so there are values that are expected that a wife should have, and according to generations and according to the age, there are certain things that are emphasized. And also there is interdependence, and there are a lot of things that are expected in marriage. Then there is also what is called practices. The cultural practice influence wedding ceremonies and rituals. So there are those things that also brings a lot of confusion in marriages, like traditional norms, traditional practices. No, it's pechanganda. No, my husband doesn't like it. Pechanganda. No, he doesn't know this stuff. Undwa, and all those things, they also have the effect and influence on marriage, because this couple is expected to have certain things, and whereby, like, this woman, she comes from she's taught that she has to shave the man, and the man doesn't see that as something that is variable in marriage. So catch law can bring also challenges and can bring enrichment in marriage. Then there are gender laws, the way they define the laws of a man, what is a law of a woman. A woman should behave like this. So the culture dictates on how one should behave, on how what are the responsibilities of a man? No, me, I'm a woman, I should not do this. Me, I'm a woman, I should not provide to the family. As a man, you are supposed, no maga tempi, and should I go and do prostitution? Because a woman in some culture, she is not supposed to. She can only get money from a man. So if the husband is not providing, she should find other men to provide to her. She has no capability or capacity of making money. The only way she can make money is through getting it from men. So those are the cultural things that brings a challenge in marriage. And you'd find that if the man is not provided, the woman become it's like she's encouraged to go and do prostitution. So all those are cultural perspective. When we ask sometimes, why is it that married women get into extramarital relationships? You may find that because she is not content of what the husband is providing, or the husband is not providing, so she should get it from somewhere. Then there are family dynamics. Cultural expectation govern extended family involvement. In Africa, as we say, marriage is not between the two, but it's between the two families. So we look at the extended family. So when you differ with a family, you also differ with your husband or your wife. Then there is social status. Marriage can affect social standing and reputation. So there is this is also a challenge. Some people get married because they have they because of their culture, they want to be respected in the community. There is this lady that I met, and she was saying that I never wanted to get married, but everyone was on me. Why are you getting married? What did you want to? Why are you not getting married? And what? And as a result, I just had to give up, and I said, let me just get married. Economical consideration, cultural norms influence financial decision and resource allocation in marriage. Now let's look at what culture, according to the continent, emphasizes. When we look at African cultures emphasizes family, unity, communal living, and respect for elders. That is what the culture dictates. Asian cultures value harmony. They value social highlight. That is what the Asian culture is. Western culture emphasizes individualism, romantic love, and relationship. You know, the Western culture has much influence, like even in churches, where he said, forget about your brother, forget about your sister, come to the Lord. And this is also, I've heard many on wedding, they are saying, this is just between marriages between two people. So family should not get involved. That is a Western culture, and it's a pity that Africans want to live like that. When it comes to religion, in Africa, we believe we emphasize family unity and communal. So that's why our culture is more like the Jews. Me and my household, me and my family. There is no need I can give my life to Christ without my family, and without making my family to know Christ. And also, there is no need I can get married without my family getting involved, without my family being involved in that. Same like the Asian families. So we have to balance up the definitions of marriage. When we talk about the scope of marriage counseling addresses various risk aspects of relationships, including communication skills. So, we, as a counselor, you have to learn and help the couples on how best they can be able to communicate. Then, conflict resolution. And how can they be able to resolve conflicts? Then, emotional intelligence. We are talking about intimacy and sexuality, financial management. These are the challenges we are talking about. So we are talking about communication challenges, conflict challenges, emotional challenges, intimacy and sexuality challenges, financial challenges in how to manage all these things, parenting and family dynamics, trust and loyalty, personal growth and development, cultural and societal influence, then blended family issues. When we talk about rebranded family issues, we are talking about step marriages, whereby one gets into a second marriage or third marriage or seventh marriage or 20th marriage. So those are blended marriages. And also they need a proper guidance. They need counseling, because those are the marriages that have got the highest percentages of divorce. So, goals of marriage counseling. The reason why we should have marriage counseling, you as a marriage counselor, your goal is to improve communication and conflict resolution skills in the marriage, enhance emotional and intimate connection, increase mutual understanding and respect, address and resolve specific issues in marriage, then strengthen relationship bonds, promote personal growth and self-awareness, then foster a healthier, more fulfilling relationship. Let's look at statistics of divorce in Zambia and the whole world. Zambia's divorce statistics for 2023 are alarming, with 36,000 divorce. You can imagine from 2020 it was it was 14,000. Within the period of 2 years, it went into 36 divorces cases that are recorded in court. My God, this is so alarming. In 2022, it was 31,000. This worries the president. President Hakainde Hichilema has expressed concern over the rising divorce rates, particularly among young people. To put this into perspective, Zambia's divorce rate is approximately 35%, 35.4%, not specifically cited in 2023, but mentioned in previous data. So when we talk about of um, every 10 people that get married, 3 or 4 will end up in divorce. Imagine if 100 people gets married, 35 or 36 will divorce. So when you see 10 weddings, about four people are going to get to divorce. That is so alarming. And the question is, why should people get into marriage if there is a divorce? I want you to answer that question. What makes people to get into marriage? Does anyone get into marriage so that they may divorce? Here are the statistics of divorce in Zambia. We have got 35.2 according to the estimation of 2020. By this time it has increased because the divorce rate has increased. So the percentage was lettered in 2020 and that time, so meaning that it is double, because it was 14,000. Now we are having, in 2023 we had 36,000 divorce cases recorded in court, minus those that were not recorded. uh, Top reasons for divorce, there is infidelity, 44%. That is having boyfriend and outside marriage, having relationship outside marriage. It is 44%, meaning that out of 10 people, 5 or 4 people divorced because their wife was found with another man, or their husband was found with another man. Lack of communication, 23%. So you can see that even if we emphasize on communication, it is just 23%, which is also a big number. So out of 10 people, at least 2 or 3, they divorce because of communication, because they are not communicating well. Then financial problem, it is only 15% people divorce because of finances. Now there is this perspective, they know money marriage kwati cannot match with poverty. Yes, but it is just 15%, meaning that only one person is going to divorce the husband or the wife because of poverty. 1 or 2 people for every 10 people. Now, divorce rate by age. So those people that get married between the age of 20 years to 30 years, there is the highest level of divorce. So this is between 40 to 50%. So any marriage that has been, people that got married between the age of 20 to the age of 29 years, we find that out of 10 people that have gotten married, at least 4 or 5 would end up in divorce. Half of the people that get married between the age of 20 to below 29 years, they divorce. Then people that gets married between the age of 30 to 34, at least 34% get divorced. 35 to 40, only 26%. So, in short, we have to people. The more people are matured, the better and the longer the relationship. The more people are matured, when you are growing, like where people think in teens and also in 20s, they that is where we have got a lot of problem thinking that disappointment, and you think this is a man that I will live with him forever and what. But at least after 30 years, people, they have experienced frustrations in relationships, and they know how to handle. They have met the John the Baptist before they met Jesus. So now people in 20s, they think John the Baptist is the Messiah. Are you the Messiah? And what happens is that the husband will say, no, the one to come, I'm just coming to pave the way for somebody else. You are not the one. You are paving the way for somebody else. Divorce rate by province. Lusaka province has got 45%, meaning that out of 10 people, at least 4 or 5 are going to end up in divorce. Copper Belt, at least out of 10, 3 or 4 are going to end up divorce. Southern province, these are the ones that have got the highest. Now, the divorce rate globally, at least 44%, which is almost out of 10 people worldwide who gets married, at least 4 people or 5 people are going to end up in divorce, which is almost 50%. Countries with highest divorce rates is Russia. Russia has got 53%, meaning that if 10 people gets married in Russia, only about 6 people or 5 people are going to divorce. Same like Ukraine and Belarus. These got the highest divorce. I don't know the reason, but they have got the highest divorce. Divorce statistic by religion. Hinduism has got the lowest divorce. In Hinduism, if hundreds people gets married, it is less than 5 that are going to divorce. Christians, if 10 people gets married, or if 100 people gets married, 14 are going to divorce. Those are evangelical, the Pentecostals and other Protestant churches. Catholic, out of 100, it is only 12 people that are going to divorce. Same like Jehovah's Witness. And also other mainline churches like UCZ and other churches. You find that it's 12% that are going to divorce. Buddhist, 10% that are going to divorce. They have got lowest, and Jewish 9%. Orthodox Christian, which is a Greek Orthodox, it's 9%. Muslims is 8%. Mormons, it is 7%. So we find that the lowest it is there, Hinduism, and the highest it is Christianity. Christianity has got 14% of divorce cases. We are not going. Some of the topics that we are supposed to cover, we are not going to cover them in this class, and we are going to have a class discussion. And what we are going to discuss in this today's lesson is, let's discuss the cases of divorce in Zambia. Let's discuss the causes of divorce in Zambia. What causes divorce in Zambia? Then question 2, what could be the reasons that Christianity has the highest level of divorce, especially Protestant? Why is it that Christianity has got the highest level of divorce in the world? Then also, how can marriages be made strong? So These are the things that we are going to discuss upon.